Man, Marvel. I can't believe they're doing this shit again. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man just gets worse and worse with every issue. I mean, come on. You mean to tell me that Peter is now getting along with Paul and Mary Jane being together? No, fuck that. I just wish we went back to the old days, you know? When JMS was writing Amazing Spider-Man. When J.M. DeMatteis was also writing Amazing Spider-Man. I wish they could just come back. Ow! What the fuck? The hell is going on? Holy crap. They actually did it. Those motherfuckers did it. Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood is the 10th billion Spider-Man comic to come out this year. And it pretty much continues this trend that Marvel is doing called Black, White, and Blood. Just pretty much just black, white, and blood colors. And they've done it to other characters like Elektra, Moon Knight. Heck, even Alien and Predator have gotten them. And now we got Spider-Man. Black Suit and Blood is pretty much a 4-issue miniseries that contains 4 stories for each issue. And they are written by J.M. DeMatteis, J. Michael Straczynski, and 2 other writers. Now, in this video, I'm mainly going to focus on both JMS and J.M. DeMatteis stories over the other 2. And there's not much that happens in them, especially Dysmorphia, which is just Peter running away from the symbiote. And that's it. But anyway, let's get this started. Let's talk about the first story, Losing Face, written by J.M. DeMatteis. So it pretty much just tells a story about Joe Face, who was, I believe, briefly in Kraven's Last Hunt, if I remember. A very brief moment in his funeral, and it pretty much just tells the story of his connection with Spider-Man, what his life was. It pretty much gives character to someone who barely was in the Spider-Man universe. And it pretty much starts off with Joe being intoxicated, breaks through a window and steals some booze. Spider-Man catches him, but instead of turning him in, he gives him a pep talk, gives him advice about turning his life around. And it's just a very Spider-Man moment right there. Why so many people love this character is because he gives criminals a second chance when it's necessary. I mean, the dude is an alcoholic. He's homeless. He screwed up his marriage. He hasn't seen his kid in years. Like, the guy has hit rock bottom. But Spider-Man gives him a chance to redeem himself. And so he does. He's been sober for a few months, seeing his kid again. He even made things right with his ex-wife. Like, it's going pretty well with him until he decided to sell out Spider-Man to a mob boss, luring him to a trap. And at first you think like, oh damn, this guy is never going to learn, he's never going to redeem himself, he's never going to improve. But then it turns out he was actually working with Spider-Man to capture this guy. And it's just a very awesome thing to see. Now, unfortunately, Joe went back to his old habits and died of a heart attack. But even still, he was able to be a better man. And that's all that matters. DeMatteis has still got it. I mean, he still captures the character really well. He puts in the friendly neighborhood in Spider-Man, and he manages to write a character so well in just under a few panels. Seeing the downfall of Joe and then seeing his redemption arc was great to see, and it was handled really well. And it was very emotional to see that he managed to be a better man, a better person, which is a pretty uplifting story for those that have hit rock bottom before. So yeah, J.M. DeMatteis' story is great. So now let's move on to J. Michael Straczynski's story, Fade to Black, which is pretty much the story of the symbiote desperately wanting Peter Parker to take them, to the point that the symbiote insults him, tells him things that he doesn't want to admit, admitting the fact that he could do whatever he wanted when he had the symbiote, being more stronger, being more vicious. It made him feel good, but Peter will not admit that. And the symbiote tells him that. It tells him off. He tells him, hey, you need me. I am what made you who you are. You became a badass because of me. And Peter just says, no, you're dying. You're alone, and you don't want to die alone. And believe it or not, after this talk, I'm genuinely sorry about that. But I can't go back. ever. And so the symbiote disintegrates, and it pretty much just ends with, oh my god, MJ and Peter dancing and having a good time. Man, I miss those days. And especially since this is JMS writing it, and unfortunately he had to be involved with one of the worst fucking stories that we shall not name. To be fair though, he probably did not write the last few issues of that, so. But even then, I think this is like an apology to that story. And it's such a great story about addiction and having to get away from it to the point that you don't want to go back to it because you've done horrible things. And that's something that's really awesome about this story. Because yeah, the symbiote, especially the costume, the design wise, it's fucking awesome, but it does horrible things to you. JMS has still got it. This is definitely a redemption arc for him after the last story he did. So Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood is yet another great Spider-Man book alongside Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm just glad that we're getting more good Spider-Man stories again, especially from veteran writers. It's unfortunate that Amazing has its downfall. You know, I just wish that I can get over it. It sucks that the mainline book is suffering with these hack writers who can't even write the character well, can't even give anything new to the character, and I'm just sick of it, you know? I'm done with this, and I just can't.
Oh, but you do need me.
What? Who are you?
It's me, ASM, the reason that you got into comics. I am the reason that your channel blew up with your most popular video talking about the Zeb Wells Spider-Man run. Without me, you're nothing, and you need me. So what do you say, partner? Wanna hop back into my series? Heck, I'll bring back Mary Jane and Peter Parker back together. And as a bonus, I will kill off Paul, just like the good old days.
No, you're right about one thing. I do need you. You get me so much content that I'm able to upload for years, and people love it. You have brought me so much joy in the past. Now I think it's time to move on to other stuff. I am done believing your lies. I am done hoping that you will get better. You're not. You're dying, and you're alone. You don't want to die alone. And believe it or not, after this talk, I'm genuinely sorry about that. But I can't hope for you again. Not anymore.